All right, team, welcome back to another episode of Guns and Gains. I'm Jeff, and today we're going to be focusing on a skill set that could literally save your life: one-handed firearm operations and injured shooter skills. As law enforcement officers and armed professionals, we can't assume we'll always have both hands available in a fight. Maybe your strong hand's down and you're using your offhand to control the weapon. You've taken a hit. The point is you've got to stay in the fight. Today, we're going to be focusing on 3 drills to make sure you can still engage the threat even if you're compromised. All right, so first and foremost, these skills are mission critical for anyone who carries. Whether you are on patrol or you're responding to a situation, you need to be ready for the worst case scenario. So let's get to work. All right, so first up, we got the strong hand only draw and fire. It's straightforward, but in the real world scenario, these things rarely go smoothly. This drill tests your ability to draw, present, and engage with just your strong hand. No support from the weak side. Maybe you'll be handling a civilian, controlling a suspect, and you got to get the gun out, or you're dealing with an injury, but the threat doesn't stop. You're going to start from the regular duty gear, holster, concealed carry, whatever you've got. Get a strong hand, high grip with your dominant hand. And as you draw, make sure you rotate the muzzle towards the threat downrange quickly. And once you've got it presented, put 1 or 2, 3 shots on target, control everything here, manage the recoil by maintaining a firm grip. And we don't really have a lot of room for error here in these life or death situations. But I'm going to present the gun and I'm going to flex my bicep. I want to keep my body square to the target while I'm engaging. So that way, if I do take another hit, it's hopefully in my body armor. But I'm also putting my hand in a pocket just to kind of take away that urge to use it when my gun goes dry. So my gun's run dry. Now I'm going to drop my magazine. I'm going to holster, secure my fresh mag, seat it. My slide's already gone forward. Press it down range, do a little press check. And engage with 3 to 5 more rounds. So like I said, I want to maintain a high, tight grip for that recoil management. I want to focus on a smooth draw and presentation. As you get comfortable, change it up, practice from different stances, seated position, working around a vehicle, on the move. Your goal is to make your response second nature. All right, drill number 2 is weak hand reload and fire. This is where things get real. And if your strong hand is out of the fight, maybe it's injured or maybe you're controlling a suspect with it, but you've got to know how to keep your gun in action with just using your weak hand. All right, first things first, I'm going to run the gun dry. So I'm using the 1 reload 1 method. So slide lock to the rear. I'm going to use my support hand to drop the magazine. If you've got an ambidextrous, that's great. I'm going to tuck the gun between my legs, secure my fresh mag, firmly seat it in the gun. If I need to confirm that, I can use my knee, press the gun back out, engage with 2 to 3 shots just to confirm that I'm able to control the gun. Set the gun back on the table and then reset it or transition it back to your strong hand and holster. Some of the key points here is to use your body as a support system for the reload. Practice reloading from different cover positions and stay methodical. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Don't outrun your headlights here. All right, folks, so now let's talk about malfunctions, because Murphy's Law always applies in the field. If it can go wrong, it will go wrong. And you've got to be able to clear malfunctions with one hand. All right, so I'm going to be using a safe weapon for the demo portion of this just to kind of show you what the technique looks like. But let's say I'm engaging my target one-handed, right? My other hand's down, whatever. I'm engaging and I have a malfunction. I experienced that loud click, there it is, and my gun's down. So I got to fix this thing. The typical malfunction clearance is a tap, roll, rack, right? So I'm going to tap the magazine, roll the weapon over, and I'm going to use the optic to rack the slide, right? Do that firmly, just slide it off, but make sure you keep the muzzle down range, especially if you're on a flat range working. Here again, I'm surrounded by berms, so it's relatively safe for me to do whatever I need to do. Even the back of the holster is another option that I can use. I can use my foot, right? I can use my foot to rack that slide. There's a lot of different options to work the slide when your other hand is down and you can't use that. So get creative, but make sure you're doing it safely, especially if you're on a flat range type environment. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to the one reload, one method. My slide's forward. I'm gonna insert the magazine. I'm gonna simulate a failure to fire here. And then I'm going to work the slide, tap, roll, rack, just like I should. And I'm gonna engage the target, then perform my reload. All right, so after you clear the jam, you got to get rounds back on target and down range. The key here is to stay calm and deliberate. You can't afford to get flustered when your gun fails. Your ability to clear the malfunction and re-engage could be what keeps you alive. And remember to use your environment. We talked about using the belt, right? So my gun is clear. We talked about using the belt to rack the slide. We talked about using the holster. We talked about using the boot. But if I'm up here on a car, then the windows are shot out. I can also use the car to rack that slide. I can get really creative here and work this slide however I need to, as long as I can get a leverage point to work that action. All right, guys, remember that the job doesn't stop. The threat doesn't go away just because you're hurt. You train to fight through, to push past, to stay in the fight, no matter what happens. Add these drills to your range time and build that neurological pathway to stay sharp, stay tactical, and be ready for anything.